Let's go.
What a lovely day!
Andy, there's a whole world out there. Jump in.
Can you dig it?
Yeah.
You must always pay strict attention.
I was just completely enamored by it the entire time.
Dude, he did not have to go that hard.
I know, man. Isn't it wild?
The Jared Cast.
So it begins.
Hello. How's it going? Good. Good. Glad to hear it. Welcome back. It's the Jared Cast. Surprise, surprise. I don't know if you put Spotify on shuffle and ended up in the weirdest, darkest corner. But welcome. We're happy to have you. I'm Jared. Surprise. With me, as always, also Jared. How are you doing, Jared?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to get into a different format today, and I'm also pretty hyped up on just relaxing
Molly.
this weekend.
Yeah. I had like the least relaxing weekend. I went to the Bay Area and I drove, and so it was chaos. And then I worked 16 hours yesterday, and I just recorded a podcast. So this is exciting. I am going to be dead by the end of this episode, but I'm excited. We dipped our toes into limited animation series. We've dipped our toes into TVs. Obviously, we do movies. What are you doing here if you don't know that? Now, we're doing music videos. We're getting a little spicy with it today.
We are.
I, for one, am very excited. I'm a big music video fan. I love the craft. I've made a couple. I wasn't narcissistic enough to pick one of the ones I've made, which is good. This podcast wouldn't be listenable if I was that type of guy. I'm hyped. Should I spoil? I'm not going to say. Fuck it. We're not going to say what we're doing. It's probably in the description, but I'm not going to say it right now. You got to wait and see. It's going to be a surprise. What's our top 5 today, Jared?
Ooh. So our top 5 is a topical top. We're talking about the uses of previously recorded songs in movies, which kind of hurt my heart a little bit because I had to cut a lot of them when I realized, like, oh shit, this is the actor actually singing. Never mind. And it also hurt my heart because I could only pick 5. But we got it. There's a lot of great choices for us, a lot of great genres that we can do. So I'm excited to get into it. Did you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I'll let you start.
Cool. My number 5 comes from, when it comes to using soundtracks, and making a list about it, you can't really make it without including Quentin Tarantino, obviously. So, but I chose one that might not be on the first the first choice from every Tarantino fan.
Pulp Fiction.
It is not Pulp Fiction.
No, you refuse.
No, I almost did.
Really?
Son of a Preacher Man, but
okay.
Which is a great use of that song in that movie, but
and
one of the best soundtracks of all time, of course. But I chose one that was very unconventional, even for Tarantino, and came a total surprise to me when I watched the movie. It's a mashup between Payback and Untouchable by Tupac and James Brown. And so you got Tupac rapping over a James Brown instrumental in the film Django Unchained, while Django is just slaughtering slave owners left and right.
That's great.
And blood is splattering everywhere. And it's absolutely perfect in the moment. Spoiler alert for the movie. Skip ahead 30 seconds. He had just seen his surrogate older brother die right in front of him, and so he's filled with this righteous fury, and you totally root for him all the way through, and it's super entertaining. It's super satisfying because he's been holding back for so long in the movie, and he just finally gets to cut loose and kill everyone.
Yeah, it's a fantastic, very satisfying moment. And I'm glad you didn't steal my Tarantino pick on my list. But we're not quite there yet, so you're going to have to wait for it. This is a rarity. It's always a special moment when White Jared talks about superhero movies. But we've got one in here.
Hey.
And I'm not talking Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm also throwing a curveball at you. I am talking Zack Snyder's Watchmen. With Times They Are A-Changin'.
Okay, good.
Fantastic fucking montage. We're a couple of Bob Dylan baby back boys. And so this has got to be on one of our lists, and so I might as well include it on mine. But it's a fantastic montage. You see the influence of these superheroes and kind of how they've fallen from grace. And it's delightful. It's just a lot of fun to watch, and it's such a well-executed use of that song, and really true to the heart of the song at the end of the day. And so it's my number 5.
Hell yeah. One of the best opening credit sequences of all time.
Absolutely.
I totally forgot about it from my list when we did that list. But yeah, for sure. My next one, people are going to hate me for even mentioning it, because it traumatized my whole generation when the film Insidious came out, and they played Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim.
I forget about that. Jesus Christ.
So funny enough, I knew this song before I watched Insidious, because my dad had like known Tiny Tim, and he was like, "Hey Jared, check this out."
Oh yeah. My friends and I would like play that for each other as a joke. Like whenever we were just hanging out, we would like cue it up somehow, or like put it on some CD we were listening to.
It's a great track. It's so funny and whimsical, and like he's surprisingly sincere in it. Like, tiptoe through the window.
Best vibrato ever used.
Yeah, dude. I love it. And then Insidious came out, and freaking James Wan with his twisted ass mind made everybody like turn into a cornered rat whenever they heard the opening bars to it. Yeah, it's amazing, and the way it's used in the movie, it's used for like 3 different jump scares, and it works every time. Insidious isn't as refined as The Conjuring, but I appreciate that every single jump in that movie drives the story. And Tiptoe Through the Tulips is one of the best examples of that.
Absolutely agree. Great pick. Sleeper pick. I fuck with it.
Yep.
My number 4 is also an opening scene of a movie. I feel like we all got some PTSD from Tiptoe Through the Tulips, and so now we're diving into that feeling with The End by The Doors in Apocalypse Now.
Yep.
It's just fucking fantastic. It's got that slow burn pace that gets you kind of settled in for the long, slow movie that you're about to watch. It's great character introduction. It's fantastic war introduction. Most of all, you don't get the glamification of it that you do with like Flight of the Valkyries in this movie. They just throw you in the deep end with some Vietnam flashbacks, and I think it's fantastic.
So good.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I need to rewatch Apocalypse Now, or I need to watch the final cut, because it looks.
I haven't seen it either. Maybe episode worthy.
Yeah, maybe. My number 3 is not not as traumatizing nearly as my number 4. It's actually quite happy and quite interesting. It's from a Studio Ghibli film, one of the lesser known ones, called Whisper of the Heart. This movie's kind of interesting because it's not a fantasy like the other Ghibli films that we're kind of used to seeing. It's a very based in realism. It takes place in 1980s Japan. But what I love about this cover of Take Me Home Country Road is that it's in Japanese. And so the movie opens up with a chorus of people singing this song, and I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, I know this song. This isn't a Japanese song. And it just filled me with so much joy and so much.
Yeah.
And the movies, a lot of the movies about that kind of simplicity of life and finding joy in that. And so even though the movie takes place in the city, the song is absolutely perfect for it. So Take Me Home, Country Road.
Yeah. Remember a time we were on a bus in China and they told us to sing an American song? And we chose that.
I totally forgot about that.
And then they said, sing a Chinese song, and we sang the Mulan soundtrack.
Oh my god, I totally forgot.
What a disgraceful time in our history.
We did the whole song too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that was on the news in China.
Wait, it was in the documentary?
No, but that one news station was the one that asked us.
Oh,
so,
shit.
like, it was a separate thing that none of us have seen since, and it horrifies me to this day. One day, like, you're going to become some famous, like, movie reviewer or something, and that video is going to surface, and we're going to get canceled because of it.
Oh, man. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
of all the things
I'm
to get
excited.
canceled for, if it's the Mulan soundtrack,
I'm okay with it.
yeah, we're good.
Cool. Anyways, time for my Tarantino pick. It's number 3. Drum roll, please. It's Reservoir Dogs with Stuck in the Middle with You while there's a torture going on, and it's horrifying. This was my pick for 2 other picks that I also kind of wanted to do. One of them didn't really work because it was Singing in the Rain and Clockwork Orange, and he's just seeing that diegetically. And then the other was one that I can't remember. I just had it a second ago. But another like upbeat song during a fucked up scene. So this takes the place for that.
Was it the American Psycho one?
Yeah, Hip to Be Square.
Yeah.
So I went with this one. I think it's the best execution of those 3 as well. So I'm not disappointed by Clockwork Orange's disqualification. It's just great. It's horrifying. His dance moves are fantastic. The torture is gruesome, and it's classic peak Tarantino, and I love it a lot.
Yeah, man, I love it. And like in true Tarantino fashion, it revived the song's popularity despite its twisted.
Yeah.
It was great. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Great pick.
Thank you.
My number 2 is was recorded before the movie, but is an original song made for the movie. It's from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. What's Up, Danger? It kind of plays at the climax of the film when our hero decides to become his own Spider-Man, and I love this sequence overall. Like it's a great it's a great montage that's very quick but very that's very quick and very efficient, but also like takes its time with slow motion and like uses all these like really cool animation things. It's very cinematic. You're hearing every single line that kind of takes Miles to where he wants to go, and it's perfectly underscored by the beat of this song. When he takes that leap of faith that his mentor has been telling him to take, the song breaks down, and it's absolutely perfect. I totally love it.
Hell yeah. Great pick. You could pick a lot of that entire movie as one of these slots.
Yeah.
And another one you can do that with. We had our obligatory Tarantinos. Now I have my obligatory Edgar Wright.
Ooh.
This was a toss-up too. I could have picked any number of Baby Driver songs, but at the end of the day, it's the second best horror movie of all time for a reason.
Yes.
And that reason is Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
Yes.
It's fantastic. It's a plot point that sets up conflict. The execution is perfect. You see what would become Edgar Wright's Baby Driver style and the timing of music here. It's hilarious. The cricket bats and stuff on the zombies, fantastic. Everything about it is great. And the entry and exit into the song, it is diegetic too. The characters can hear the music because it's playing on jukebox. But just like throwing a zombie into the jukebox to stop it and get out of that scene is fantastic and clever. I love it. It's one of my favorite scenes of all time, and so I had to include it here.
Hell yeah. Definitely one of the best, one of our finest, one of the finest uses of Queen in anything, I think.
We could have just done Queen the whole time, really. We could do a separate list just for Queen.
Right. Freaking A Knight's Tale when they play We Will Rock You for no reason. In a jousting tournament. But
the sad thing about that is Bohemian Rhapsody probably wouldn't come up.
Oh, yeah.
It would probably just be skipped over in our top 5 uses of Queen.
Yeah. Well, no, Wayne's World. That's one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a top 5 though. Interesting.
I think it's a top 5.
Yeah,
personally.
we'll see.
But I'm a Wayne's World fiend.
Yeah. We'll see. My number one has nothing to do with any of that. It's from it's a cover. It's the only cover on my. Or no, it's the second cover on my list. Also the second cover in a different language. The song "Crying," originally by Roy Orbison, was sung in Spanish by Rebecca Del Rio in the film Mulholland Drive. For those of you, I'm not going to give away too much about why this is in the film and what the song means and what the song's placement in the film is like the significance of it. But it's one of those moments where, you know, I thought I was going in watching like a fun David Lynch movie that I like wouldn't understand but would still kind of just enjoy and let it wash over me. And this scene just like made me absolutely weep, and I had no idea why. And it has this powerful hypnotic quality to it. And then he pulls the rug out from under you right when the song gets climactic. And I won't say how, but it's very, very good. And I would recommend Mulholland Drive as a film just because of this scene that it's used in. Yeah. Excellent
pick. It's totally slipped my mind, but we can always count on Jared to get David Lynch in here. My number one is also one that made me cry. It's from a director who I have always kind of critiqued for not really having any real emotion in a lot of his films.
Right.
But this was an incredibly rare exception. I actually saw this scene before I saw the movie, and it made me watch the movie because of how much I loved this fucking scene. And that is Needle in the Hay by Elliott Smith in The Royal Tenenbaums by Wes Anderson. It is out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but a surprising attempted suicide scene.
Yeah.
Which is crazy for a Wes Anderson film. But I love it. It's dark. The ending of it is so like apathetic and heartbreaking. The whole thing is heartbreaking, but the way it comes to an end is even more heartbreaking. It's ever since I watched it, it's been my favorite use of a song in a movie, and it still is to this day. I absolutely adore this scene. It's my favorite scene in any Wes Anderson film. It's my favorite Wes Anderson film too. So I'm throwing all the favorites into this one. That's my number one, Royal Tenenbaums.
Hell yeah, dude. That totally slipped my mind too. Such a great performance by Luke Wilson and the whole cast, of course. But holy shit, yeah,
fantastic.
Now I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, it's
I
so
gotta
good.
rewatch Royal Tenenbaums. Yeah,
I still haven't seen French Dispatch too. I didn't have time this week, and I'm upset about it. But we'll get there. We'll make it work. But we're not here for a Wes Anderson episode. No. We are here for some music videos. And I'm going to start us off with a bit of a classic. This was a classic pick. I wanted to throw some classics in here. I threw in some names. This was kind of a modern one that made the cut, and that's Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. Some animation. I feel like we had to put an animation pick in here. This is my second favorite use of animation in a music video. Maybe third. I guess Sledgehammer counts as animated because it's stop motion.
What's the first?
Take On Me.
Hey.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Right,
it might be the best music video ever.
Right.
But I went with Feel Good because it was a more fun pick. I think it's fun to talk about. But before we talk about it, we've got Jared reads poorly written reviews of music videos because we're watching because it's funny and it makes him laugh and stuff. I probably won't be saying that 8 times this episode, so we might have to trim that down, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
got
also not gonna
3.
use the theme song. Like,
Yeah, no, it's too obnoxious for this episode.
yeah,
But I've got 3. All of these are comments on the YouTube, and they will be for all of these. And so they're all kind of short, and so I'll rapid fire. Did you do that TV? 10 hours before I found it said, I'm regretting subbing to this. Help. Murilo Germano Lopez, 11 hours before I wrote it down, just said, gay. And then Wortiger Onze 1 day ago said, Als ik niet ben op Samsung Ingeldad gat te misma, which is Dutch for, if I'm not logged in on Samsung, things go wrong, ma.
man, you've had some colorful ones. I love it.
And so a little bit of diversity here.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, I saw Samsung, and I was like, "Did he say Samsung in this?" And so I just translated it, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Feel Good Inc. The music video directed by Gorillaz artist Jamie Hewlett and Pete Candyland, which I don't believe is a real person, but he's credited nonetheless. It follows the band jamming. You get appearances from, I think, every member of Gorillaz, including a live-action De La Soul, which is also fucking tight.
Yeah.
It's a pretty heavy-handed metaphor for anti-capitalist ideals, much like the song is. But I don't think it detracts from the appeal of the song or the video being so obvious, because it's so well executed. The juxtaposition and color from Feel Good Inc. and The Island, which is a Miyazaki reference, which is fantastic, is beautiful, and it matches the production of the song, because you have lower fidelity production on the Feel Good Inc. sections, and then higher production in the higher fidelity production in the chorus. It's just super well executed. The animation is beautiful. This took me away like crazy in 2005 when it came out, and I've watched it at least once a year every year since, because I fucking love this video.
Yeah.
Just the sight of the lighthouse island flying through the sky and Noodle jamming on the guitar is picturesque. I want that shit framed in a painting on my wall. I absolutely love this video. I'm sure you've seen it. What are your general thoughts?
It'd be kind of messed up if I didn't watch your picks.
Yeah. Just fuck you.
Yeah, no, I love it. Did you give your score? What was it?
Oh, no, I didn't. I forgot to write down my score. Honestly, I'll give this one a 9.2. I love it. It's just well executed.
Hell yeah. I love it as well. Like Jared said, amazing, stunning animation, not just in that scene with Noodle, but in Noodle's first appearance, but in I really love Murdoch's fingers on the bass. They look super smooth and really like back when Murdoch was still handsome, It's interesting going back to these old music videos, and Noodle was still a kid. Yeah, I love it. It's I love the that it still looks and sounds gorgeous. Like there's a great blend between the sound design and the song. It's an interesting narrative. It's very compelling, but it's a little unclear to me what's going on sometimes. But that's and I think my only like major issue is that Russell doesn't really have anything to do.
No, he just kind of jams with De La Soul, and that's about it.
yeah. I would have at least liked to see him, like, I don't know, do something else in the animation just besides the drumming. But it's okay. It's still one of the best Gorillaz music videos ever. It's still one of the best animated music videos ever. And I love 2D's kind of struggle to wake everyone up and to keep awake himself, and then just kind of succumbing to the feel good chorus. It's really really fun and hypnotic and cool.
Yeah, and it's cool to. Or sorry, do you want to give your score?
Oh yeah, 9.3.
Yeah, it's cool too because like it has that story and a plot to it. Granted, it's like kind of all over the place, but you don't even like need it. Like just based off pure imagery, you get what the song is supposed to be about. You get what they're trying to do with the music video, and then everything else is just like sprinkles on the sundae. And so I love it for that reason a lot.
Hell yeah. So just to be clear, 2D can see Noodle out there, right? He's not.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
and he's so the way I kind of interpret it is like he's like jealous of her being free from Feel Good Inc. And then he tries to break out by waking everybody up, and then fails. De La Soul like crushes him and makes him fail. Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And like De La Soul playing like the CEO of Feel Good Inc. and like coming on the TV is so good. It's so fantastic. Like just the contrast of like everything being animated and then him like as a person is so jarring and surprising that like I don't expect it every single time I watch it somehow. And it's so well executed for 2005, mixing animation and live action like that. Is always good to see it well done, and so I definitely commend them for that.
Hell yeah. What did you like interpret Murdoch's role as? Because I'm not sure exactly what he was. Because he's fully awake and he doesn't like fall asleep.
I mean, Murdoch has always been like the troublemaker shitbag of the group. Like he is like a criminal in the background of Gorillaz, and so I think he's just kind of playing like a chaotic neutral character almost, where he's just like, well, I'm fine here, and so who gives a shit if my friends are like trapped here as well. Is kind of like the motive that I saw. He and Russell are both kind of underwritten in this for sure. Noodle and 2D, much like a lot of Gorillaz lore and music videos, kind of take the center stage. But that's kind of how I saw it. I don't know if you were smelling something different out of it.
No, I wasn't sure what I was smelling. So, thank you. Yeah,
of course, happy to. I guess, I don't know, you want to move on? We got 8 videos. It wasn't a lot to talk about, or like a lot that we talked about, but...
Sure. We can move on to Humble by Kendrick Lamar. Holy shit.
Heavy hitter right off the top. Wow.
Yeah, starting off with two big guns. I remember when this video dropped, and we were all kind of starved after the release of To Pimp a Butterfly, and just kind of waiting, like, when's the next Kendrick?
Yeah, kind of like we're doing now.
Yeah. And I was in film school when we like heard about it, when we heard about Humble dropping, and we just put it up in the edit bay, and everybody was kind of crowding around and watching it over and over and over again. And we watched it 3 times together, just like trying to figure out what was going on. And I think this movie is very, very good. Or this music video is very, very good. Did you have a bad review for it before I jump in?
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting that's a thing. Because it's a weird fucking episode. Let me scroll down to my notes. It's time for Jared Reed's part. We're watching movies and laugh and stuff. This one is first up, Olafur Arnie Forikson, who says, anybody else getting a gay vibe from this? Che Hun A says, Hitler disappoints me. Overly Fat Man says, great song for making s'mores. And Alex Beak says, baptism, fam.
Is that a negative review? I feel like that's a positive.
It's poorly written. It doesn't have to be
poorly
negative.
written. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
My favorite is, anyone else getting a gay vibe from this? No. We have a couple homoerotic pics on here, but this is not one of them.
Right, like you saw the color pink and thought, "Oh, gay."
Yeah, gay as fuck. I'm out.
But yeah, this I like Humble a lot. I think it's one of the best singles of the 21st century. For sure, a top. Maybe top 3 Kendrick song. It's such a great beat, such a great vocal performance by him. Incredible lyrics that kind of just stick in your head all day. It's great. I gave it a 9.2. I think each visual element kind of perfectly captures his lyrics. Sometimes in a way that's like too literal. And there's a couple moments like some of the CGI doesn't hold up, and the drone shot is a little it doesn't hold up in quality, but the way they're used is still feels like emotionally resonant. So I didn't knock the music video too hard. So 9.2.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best rap videos ever, because it takes that style of like find like 3 or 4 or more settings and then just kind of cut between them. But it does it so well. Like it's so perfectly executed. It's kind of, let's do confusing camera techniques and make it work. The music video, and I love that. It's super creative. Some of them like took me so many times to like figure out what the fuck was happening and how they pulled things off. You've got absolutely stunning lighting throughout, like the salon, the opening shot of him in the church. The opening shot of him in the church is one of the most beautiful like tapestries in a music video. Honestly, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's just so good. There were some things that like don't hold up, like you said, the drone shot. I think the 360 sphere is the weakest part of this video, but I think that's like the only thing keeping it from being a 10 for what it is, and so I give it like a 9.8. I absolutely love this video. It is striking. I'm a big fan.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I love Humble a lot. Yeah, you talked about a lot of the video stuff, the interesting video elements. The entire thing is packed with innovative techniques that are still being ripped off today.
Some of them I thought would be ripped off more, like the stuttering video technique in the Last Supper scene. Like I thought that would be in every single music video. I was like, well. Now I'm gonna have to watch that 1,500 fucking times, and it is like had its influence, but not as much as I thought it would be.
No, yeah, I tried to do it once myself with just 2 cameras, but it needs that kind of that extra rotation. So I think what's happening is it's 4 cameras on a rig, right, and they're just rotating between every image in every frame.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. There's that. I think that's super amazing. In the Last Supper, there's the use of the robotic arm like
So
that's
good. It's just so
that's-
snappy.
Yeah, we all kind of jumped up like when that came up. We're like, "What? You could do that? I didn't know you could do that." It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. It has
and
like a La La Land whip pan vibe to it.
Yeah.
But it like just keeping him framed perfectly on every hit is just so clean, and it's so on beat too. Fuck.
Yeah, and like to add on top of that, there's this extra like irony to it because he's talking about bad lip syncs in music videos in that verse,
Yeah.
and he lip syncs wrong on purpose in
Yeah.
that specific scene. Yeah, it's incredible. I love. I you know, you mentioned the first shot being amazing. I agree. I think my favorite is the one with the heads on fire. That's probably the one that like still kind of is just burned into my brain.
Yeah. Something about the rope on the other people's head is just striking looking.
Yeah, and they're all kind of nodding, and so it's like, wait, is the rope real? Is it CG? I can't tell what's. Yeah,
Yeah.
The fact that that still holds up of all the CGI images. That's so good.
Yeah.
I love the one white dude in the corner. He's my favorite. Yeah.
Evil.
I don't know if you've heard that like meme that's been floating about like, you guys are African Americans plus Mark. I don't know. So it's from it's from one of the Last Chance U documentaries, and like it's a whole team of basketball players in the college, and there's one white dude in the room, and the coach is like hyping them. It's like, you guys are African Americans plus Mark. And so I think about that every time I rewatch this video.
This is one of the most, like I said, I've seen Feel Good so many fucking times. I've probably seen this one as many times, and it came out 10 years after.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
This was directed by the little homies, or whatever he calls him, and like his group of people that direct most of his videos, right?
Yeah, but I feel like I thought it was it's a mix of himself, I think, and
it's him and like one or two other dudes that like do most of his videos.
Yeah, I do not know their names, but but good job, guys.
Good work.
Stellar editing as well.
It has fantastic editing. The Photoshop segment is probably my favorite editing in it. It's beautiful. I was watching. I had to watch a lot of these at work, and so there were some awkward moments. First of which was the giant ass with stretch marks on it shaking around the screen.
Yeah. I was working at a church at the time, and I was like gonna take some techniques from it, but I was like, should I just show them? I'll just show them the whole video, and so I just kind of like curled into a corner when that came up.
Hey, nothing wrong with a little ass. I'm sure Jesus clapped some cheeks in his time.
No, but thank you. All right. Oh baby.
No.
No.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
If we're going
I have the
alphabetical.
Yeah, my bad.
How dare you?
I don't know why I had that one at the bottom.
God, you suck. Genghis Khan. You know who has some thoughts about it? Sam and Daniel and Jerry putting last and stuff. This one from Sam Zagorski says, "This is how conservatives think all gay couples meet. My friend Scott." And Daniel's son said, "This movie looks like the dumbest shit that's ever existed. How many good concept films get no funding, and something that looks this fucking bad gets a budget? Stupid people truly run this planet."
Oh wow.
He just straight up thought it was a trailer. Which is amazing to me. Like, going into this thinking it's just a normal movie trailer would be great. And honestly, I'm here for it. I would watch the fuck out of a musical based off of this this music video. It's our first like real like story based video that we're talking about today. Feel Good Inc. is kind of there. It scratches the surface, but this one has 3-act structure, has a plot, executes it. It's a homosexual parody of James Bond about unhappy marriages, and I fucking love it. I absolutely love this music video. Mike Snow is kind of a so-so artist for me, but this music video instantly made me a fan. It executes the satire of the spy genre perfectly, while also having like a compelling story about the villain in an unhappy marriage. The fact that we follow the villain and not the hero is super cool.
Yeah.
The dancing choreography is super cool. The background dance actors fucking kill it the whole time. The dude at the desk like turning and jamming is one of my favorite parts of this music video. The set design is simple yet executed super well, especially at the villain's home life, where it's all kind of like 60s retro like sitcom looking, with the wipes are also great and add to that feel. Overall, I just love it. It's a good feel good video, and I adore it. I gave it an 8.5.
Hell yeah. This is the first time I've ever heard the song.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I don't know Mike Snow at all, and so I was very, very amused by it. It was very. I like that the. Like you said, the video's narrative is really, really fun. You know, playing with the audience's expectations and the weird and wacky love triangle, showing a jealous lover getting their way and then giving birth to another jealous lover. It's really, really fun and quite delightful. The choreography is really, really you can tell they put love and care and attention into it, even though it's very simple and very like it's still dynamic and still puts a smile on my face. I think the lyrics are kind of
the lyrics are trash, but
yeah, like you're kind of what's the word, understating Genghis Khan.
Yeah. You know he was a rapist, right?
Yeah. But you know, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fun and twisted little jealousy song. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he just liked the sound of the name Genghis Khan, and so he went with that.
Pretty much.
I don't know.
I mean, Mike Snow is born. They're an electronic duo called Galantis that they were like super successful with, and they're like, we just want to make like pop songs, and so they like started Mike Snow, and so it kind of just has that vibe to it throughout.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, even though the lyrics are weird, the singer or the voice is self-aware of his own jealousy, and so the video likewise is also self-aware of its overt references to 007 and all that stuff. I think maybe my biggest gripe, which is the only gripe, because I really love, like Jared said, the costume, the design, the choreography, the acting. It's the I think the aspect ratio is too wide. When he's jumping up and down for joy, like he's going off frame, and the set is like, I just wish the image was a little bit taller, because I wanted to see more of the set. I want to feel more of the space, and I want to see the I want to see the jumps and the stunts in full view. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it a 7.8.
I absolutely agree with the aspect ratio. It is a disappointing part. You mentioned the acting. I think it's fantastic. It's so like over the top and like kind of Broadway theater type acting. Like the voicing, the lip syncing isn't good, but it doesn't have to be. They're like slamming on walls and like dramatically turn into each other.
It's amazing.
but it just adds to the feeling. Like, it's not supposed to be like some gritty, like romantic spy movie. It's just
No.
like couple of people realize through their rivalry that they have feelings for each other, and I think that's fantastic. It's just so wholesome, and the dance number together is like genuinely fantastic. It's just great, like contemporary style dancing. But the highlight of this entire video for me is when our James Bond character turns and walks down the stairs, and he's got a little like hand wave going, and something about it is the grooviest thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love those little details like that in the video too. It shows like how much love they put into it. Like the idea that the villain wears his headgear in bed, his nose gear in bed. So stupid.
And the minions, like, time hits 5:00 and they all are like, well, day's over. I guess we'll put this off till tomorrow. And like when they're doing the dance number, they're all like in formation and like clapping on their leg with one hand and just like vibing to it. It's like, it's just such a happy, uplifting little short film of a music video, and I like it a lot.
I agree. Any other notes about it?
Not really. I just wanted to put some smiles on our faces, so that's why I picked it.
Hell yeah. And you succeeded, my friend.
Good.
I hope I did the same with this next one, Kolo by Bombing Tiger.
You did.
This is the only video that we have that was under 1 million. And I keep telling more and more people to watch it. I like literally like will text this video to someone and be like, "Have you seen this yet? You need to see this," because it's so it's like it's like if masculinity was a Looney Tune. Like that's and then that turned into a music video. That's kind of what Kolo is.
Yeah. You know, two people who did see it were these two dudes. And Jared reads poorly written reviews of music videos that we're watching because that makes them laugh and stuff. First up, Kishin says Green Ronaldo in all caps. And then Warudo said, imagine being a gangster and at the same time being a weeaboo. LMAO.
Amazing.
Yeah, man. I got for this one.
Yeah, that's good.
Most of these were in like Japanese, and so I couldn't. Yeah. Or like, I look like Japanese. I'm gonna be honest. I can't tell a lot of Asian characters apart.
Korean's like really boxy. Yeah. So Bombing Tiger is a Korean music collective. They're kind of their whole thing is to basically their whole aesthetic and their whole goal as artists is to basically just use experimental style music to break through genre conventions. That happens both in the audio and in the video of what you see from them. The Omega Sapien, the lead singer of the lead rapper of this video, is my favorite member of the group. He's also a great solo artist. Kind of they're all like pretty new. This video came out in 2020, and it's interesting. It kind of I don't really know exactly what it is because I don't understand a lot of what they're saying, and I don't understand a lot of their interviews because they're in Korean, but not all of them are subtitled. But basically the song is a Korean rapping in Spanish and English and then shouting a nonsense chorus, which is not even Korean, it's just gibberish. I think it's a perfect song to get yourself hyped up for the day, and the music video only adds to my enjoyment. I'll get into my feelings soon enough, but I've seen it. You know, it's been out for a year. I've seen it probably over 30 times. I'm going to give it a 10.
Damn.
Yeah, it's the perfect fit for my personality, I think.
Yeah, it really is, and it's fantastic. It's just a lot of fucking fun. Somehow, I didn't give us the most homoerotic music video, and I think that's mind blowing to me. But I love it. It's just a lot of fun. It parodies like masculinity and kind of martial art culture super well, and I like that aspect of a lot. There's some genuinely funny moments that like made me laugh out loud, like the monkey bar scene.
Yeah, dude.
That shit was fantastic. The one dude who's like struggling so hard is great. And Omega Sapien's face just leading the pack is fantastic. I gave it a let me double check 8.2. I did like it a lot, but I kind of wanted more of like the monkey bar stuff and like the locker room type stuff, rather than like some of the more generic scenes. I think they could have gone more crazy with it, and I would have been even more into it. I don't understand the whole thing about him planting his hair. That part was kind of confusing to me. Yeah, but overall, it was a lot of fun to watch, and I still enjoyed it a lot.
Hell yeah. Yeah, those are all fair critiques. The 10 is a personal score. But yeah, I don't understand. I don't totally understand the video, especially the slower moments. I don't like
which came out of nowhere. Like I was like, oh, we're here now. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's great. It's great listening to it. You're like, wait, is this the same song? I was in the car with Angela when I showed her this song, and she was like, wait, did it switch songs? I'm like, nope, same song. And she was like, ooh.
Very Angela response. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand the significance of the teacher. I don't really understand the significance of the waves or planting the hair or him in the beginning, even with the time lapse. But the visuals themselves are still so like hypnotic and cool that like I don't really care, you know. Like it adds to this kind of surrealistic quality that is that, you know, even though the rest of the video is like surrealism on steroids, like it still works. And every time I watch it, I have a new favorite man in the group. I think this time it's the skinny guy. I love him so much. I love him so much. The way
What's
he
with
twists.
the one dude who's just blurred out too?
I don't know. I think so. I'm not entirely sure, but it could be a real martial arts school, and so that guy just didn't want his face shown, or
That's fair.
they just like hired him to have his face blurred and just had
which
it
is
there
hilarious.
for no reason.
Which
Yeah.
is great. Sorry to interrupt your skinny boy analysis. You can get back into that.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I love his. I love the way his skin kind of glows in the lighting, and I love his they have him screaming and crying. They only have a few people crying, which is fine. But yeah, like Jared said, it kind of recalls like images that we are familiar with from martial arts schools and military schools to show a collective attitude. But there are the movie the music video is filled with tons of close-ups of their various expressions to highlight their individuality. And there's no guy that looks similar to another guy. They're all from very different walks of life, and I think that's kind of beautiful about going to a martial arts school, and about being a part of a group of men like that. You know, even though they're being ridiculous, even though they're being over the top, even though it's like righteous fury and brutal enthusiasm, it's not toxic because there's so much love there.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And the fact that like everybody, like that you can pick out distinct people, like the skinny guy or the chubby guy that they just keep breaking shit on, makes it even better. Like it gives so much more replay value. Maybe because they are like a hip hop group and it's not just an Omega Sapien song that they like have. Like it's not just all about him. It's not super focused on him. They like branch out and they're like, here's just this group of homies doing crazy shit to this weird banger of a song. and I like it a lot. I think it's super well executed because of that, and it's got a lot of replay value there.
Hell yeah. Any other notes about it?
Not really.
Cool. Highly recommend his. There's another video by Omega Sapien I'll send you, but the entire thing is references to Park Chan Wook. So,
Ooh, I'm here for it.
You like it?
Yeah, send away. Now we're getting to the first of the two denser ones that I sent you. Oh Baby, which is a straight up short film by Rian Johnson. But who has some pretty negative feelings about Rian Johnson? A lot of people, especially this one dude I found. Jared laughing stuff. This one is by M.E. 2 months ago. He said, Rian Johnson, if you ever see this, please accept a sincere and heartfelt F you for squandering the opportunity to write a sensible and appropriate Star Wars movie. I hope someone tricks you into running backward through a cornfield naked.
What? First of all, what? Second of all, why are you critiquing a Star Wars thing in here?
Literally, has nothing to do with this whatsoever. But
is the naked through a cornfield thing a reference to something? Because I don't know.
No, just because you get corn in your ass. I don't know, homophobic.
All right.
Something. Yeah, I don't know. I have heard that phrase before. I don't know why or where, but it's I don't know. But it was a funny review. Oh Baby, it's a sci-fi romance short film set to a song that shouldn't work as well as it does. I love LCD Sound Systems. They're a fantastic artist. I think it is just one dude, but. The music video's just as good, if not better. The visuals are striking. The acting is incredible. The VFX are simple, but incredibly perfectly pulled off. The story is compelling. The textures on the close-ups are fucking incredible. That beginning sequence of all the scrawling of formulas is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything about this is just great to me, and I love every second of it. It's a 10 for me. This is the Jared. This is the Jared pick. That's just perfect. I absolutely love it. I think it's incredible. What'd you think?
I loved it as well. If you had asked me which one Johnson directed, I would have guessed Genghis Khan. But
yeah,
because this one doesn't look like anything else that he directed.
No. Genghis Khan does have a Knives Out aesthetic to him.
yeah, and his whole thing is about being playful and about messing with your expectations. But this one does it as well. You mentioned that this was a Malick-esque video, and but besides the quick pans and the dolly movements, I think you're absolutely right. The sunset as a symbol of mortality is very, very Malick-esque. And actually, Sissy Spacek was Terrence Malick's first leading lady, and so it's a really interesting parallel. Her and David Strathairn are obviously great. They're great in everything that they're in, literally.
Yeah.
Even the bad movies, they're amazing. I wasn't sure about the link between the lyrics and the video at first, but to me, I kind of got out of it the song being about the parts of love that are unknown and reaching out to those parts and kind of letting go of your fear of the unknown when it comes to love. And this video is a perfect representation of that. This couple, every single step that they take is measured, it's calculated. It's done in tandem with one another, and so at the very end, still in tandem with one another, they step into the unknown, and it's a very beautiful moment. I think there was some weird editing choices for me, like the blink to black. I thought was kind of weird. Sometimes they hold when I expect to cut, so sometimes that works. So when they go into the barn, I thought that was beautiful. But overall, I loved it as well. I gave it an 8.9.
Yeah, it's just a great short film too. Song aside, it's just a fantastic short film. Few relationships I have bought into without any dialogue or words harder than this. Like it's got an up feel to it just because of that, and I absolutely love that. The editing is the weakest part of it for sure, but I think it's redeemed in moments like that barn or that opening title sequence where it's like super quick cuts. And like for the first like minute up until they solve the equation and he passes the notebook to it, every shot is either moving, has like a lighting cue, usually natural light, which is super cool. He'll like duck in front of the sun, which is cool. And it's just super fast paced and quick. And then that moment where they like solve what they've been working on for presumably decades, and it feels like decades watching it. It's just so sweet, and like them like celebrating that is such a huge moment that you're like, fuck yeah, like I love you guys, I'm a part of this family too. like I just feel like their son when I'm watching this, and I love it. I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe I'm not gonna sneeze. Oh god, this is a terrible time.
Drink some water.
Oh fuck yeah. The foreshadowing of the robbery and eventual murder is great, because you kind of just pass it off as like, oh, they're just judging the weirdo loner couple that's like always doing crazy shit that we don't know about. Like that's how I took the little like glance when stuff gets delivered to their house. But then the twist that they get robbed and murdered is fantastic. I don't quite understand the physics of how the wife got shot and not the husband, but that's not for me to determine. But the shot of him running out after them through the window is like top tier. Like that's just a beautiful shot. It is so powerful. The ending is gorgeous. The subversion of expectations that like you're like, oh, he wants to like do it with her successfully and see what that's like, and then you're like, oh no, he fucked with it, and he just would rather be nowhere with her than somewhere without her. And that's fucking beautiful. And it's a beautiful video. And it's one of my favorite Rian Johnson films.
Yeah, man. I agree. Those, like, I didn't even catch the foreshadowing. That's awesome that you picked up on that. I think, you know, any other director, I don't know if they would be able to pull this off, because Strathern and Spacek just feel so like naturally fit, feel like such a natural fit for their parts and for their scenes. And you said like it's without dialogue. Like that only happens if you have two actors and a director who care deeply about the story, and who care, and who actors who are comfortable because they know they're in good hands. I agree. The last image is extremely powerful. The shot of him chasing the car out is amazing. Any use of the sunset on a farmland is just gonna make me cry no matter what.
It.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
What was I? What did you say before you said the sunset? I was going to comment on it.
Something about the final shot, or something about the chasing of the car out, or something about the acting, or something.
Oh, the dialogue, the lack of dialogue. There is dialogue. We just don't hear it. Like they just say stuff to each other, but it doesn't matter. And that's such a ballsy choice to like have the actors talk, but not like have it play under the song or something. And I'm glad they went that way. It sticks to like the style of the video a lot, and I appreciated it for that.
Hell yeah.
Anything else?
No, that was all I got.
All right, cool. We're blowing through these. I was worried this was going to be either like a 4-hour episode or like a 30-minute episode.
No, I definitely had to like restrain myself with the notes, but I deleted a lot of notes, which is fine. Cool. They're both. Oh,
I guess.
okay. Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, I guess
Sorry.
you got to go deep for this.
Yeah, 3
and you know
letters.
who went deep was these 3 people. Jerry laughing stuff. This one comes from Reptilian Rob. He says, "I love white people." The Dutester says croissant. And Robotron 17 says, "This is cultural appropriation and I want it canceled now."
Oh my god! Of course.
I don't understand any of those, except maybe the "I love white people" because it's a very white video and I do love it.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I guess no, it's not appropriation because they like countless times David Byrne and the Talking Heads have given tribute to the African musicians that they pay homage to in their rhythms. So no.
Respectfully, nah. Batman.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads. One of the best beats, one of the best instrumentals of all time. Built on
Crazy to call a talking head a beat to me. I don't know why. Something about it is it just sounds wrong.
Well, there's the African drums that are on.
Yeah,
loop, and
like
then
that
there's-
part of it, but just in my mind is like David Byrne just dropping bars over this fucking trap beat.
He kind of is.
Yeah,
Like
it's true.
Both the band and David Byrne are improvising on top of the African rhythms, which are foreign to us, and so I think the result is this really sonically unique thing, and I appreciate it because of that. I'm gonna get into the stuff I like and some of the stuff I don't like about it later, but for now I'm just gonna give it an even 9. I think it's a great video, but not the best Talking Heads video.
Yeah, I love this video. I think it's a lot of fun. I kind of pair this with the Hey Ya video because I got a lot of one weirdo, and it's just a good time, and so I like that a lot. I think the physicality of it's great. It does feel like some dude just found a green screen and was like, "Here we go," but in the best way. Like it just adds like a nice feel to it. I'm glad you put this in because I was considering it. It made my short list, and I wanted some 80s too, and regretfully I didn't. I was like inches away from doing Blue Monday by New Order or Perfect Kiss by New Order, but Perfect Kiss is 10 minutes long, so I decided against that. So I'm glad we had a little bit of 80s flair to it because this is just peak that feeling. And it's great because of it. Physicality's great. The effects are dated in the best way. David Byrne just kills it. Only he can. I don't know how the Talking Heads are popular, and I'm so glad that they are because they're just a bunch of fucking lunatics, and I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What's your score?
9.2. It's fun. That's a good time.
Yeah, so the video kind of begins and ends with a blue artificial ocean that kind of shows how big the world is, but also shows like individual like blue cells kind of moving together in a way that they can't control, and I think that kind of sums up the theme according to David Byrne.
Is the song.
yeah, and according to David Byrne, it's not necessarily about like capitalism and all that stuff, but it's about the unconscious mind. Like so I'll pull a direct quote from him. He says, "We operate half awake or on autopilot and end up whatever in a house and family and job and everything else, and we haven't really stopped to ask ourselves, how did I get here?" And he even says that directly in the song. And the movie's kind of the music video kind of shows him being unstuck in time and unstuck out of himself. There are constant there's a constant presence of other David Byrnes in the background dancing along with him to reinforce that sense of imposter syndrome. The video is super low budget, so it's co-choreographed and co-directed by David Byrne and a choreographer named Tony Basil. She basically just kind of gave David Byrne some instructions and then locked him in a room and said, "Figure it out," and then came back and they shot the video. They based it in some tribal dancing and televangelists.
Yeah, that's my favorite part, is that he just pretends to be a pastor or a priest the whole time.
Yeah, and that totally reinforces the nature of his lyrics as well, which are which do sound like a televangelist. They sound very over the top and kind of meaningless, but also rich with emotion. And I appreciate that about it a lot. I mentioned that it's not as great as some of their other videos. I think the way that the Talking Heads have played with light and played with the lens and played with each other as a band. I wish I could have seen the entire band in this video, but I also don't besmirch them too much because David Byrne is so good in it. But because of that, I don't put it above Burning Down the House or Wildlife or any of the other ones. But Wild Wildlife. But yeah, I still love the video. It's still praised to this day. Kermit copied it in 1996.
Yep.
And that's, if that's not a stamp of approval, I don't know what it is.
That is the biggest compliment you can get. Yeah, it's fantastic, and the televangelist movements also have a lot of like puppet qualities to it. Like he's a marionette, kind of being dragged through his life, which is goes back to that whole point of the song. It's just such a simple music video, but like weirdly there's layers to it, and it works so well. It's just a fantastic execution all around.
Yeah, and that's kind of an essential staple when it comes to low budget productions like this, like simple but layered. And that's absolutely beautiful what you just said. But yeah, I once in a lifetime, check it out.
Do it. Check all these out.
If you're not one of the 500 million people that already has.
And my final one. The only one without any bad reviews because comments are turned off because there's titties in it.
Oh, right. I forgot, honestly.
It's Pursuit by Giuseppelstein, I think is how you pronounce it. I've seen the man in concert, and I still don't know how to pronounce his name.
It's Giuseppelstein.
Giuseppelstein. It probably is.
No, I'm just kidding.
But it's Pursuit, probably the most confusing music video on this, and that says a lot given our next choice. And I love it. It's dripping with symbolism. It's also very Malick in that it's just slow, and they're like, figure it out, stupid, and that's all they give you. There is a bit of a narrative to it. You see like a coming to power of a king, basically, and then there's a science timeline that just goes way over my head, and then a lot of it is just it just makes no sense, but all of it is beautiful and all of it is striking. The set pieces are fantastic. I don't know if they filmed it in the same place as This Is America, but it looks identical in that hangar. Meant to look it up, but I didn't. But it's just a beautiful video. I like the glove representing power or corruption or exploitation of vulnerability or all these other things that kind of are in the same vein. But it also ties into the artist himself. He wears a suit that is like that. He has like a gold head and like gold hands and like a classy suit, and it's fucking tight.
Yeah.
All of it's fantastic. I think it's a very striking video, even if all of it doesn't make sense. I gave it an 8.6.
Nice. Yeah, I agree for the most part. I like all the shots, and I like the dolly track backwards.
Yeah.
The way I kind of interpreted it was like, as humankind is moving forward, it's like every step of progression is actually a regression, and that's kind of what he's telling us because the the music video starts with, that's the fucking 10th time I've done that.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious though.
The music video starts with a picture of innocence, 2 children, and one of them has the glove that symbolizes power. One of them has the...
Well, one of them walks toward a box and then gets the glove. And
right.
Like the next shot, like the first scene, I guess you're right. So
yeah, and by the end, you know, there's it's a corpse. We see a corpse. We see just a relic of all the greatness that was achieved, all the power that was amassed. It's just in a it's a skeleton in a glass box. It means it's just something to look at. It's not even something that meaningful. And so I really like that narrative. I really think that's a cool story. I actually like the one shot with nudity in it. I think that's probably the most ambiguous shot in the film, and I'm not entirely sure, but I kind of interpret it as like consumerism and like you know, the human body being used to market products instead of being used as an artistic and as a beautiful thing, especially the female form. But I'm not. I could be totally wrong about that.
That's how I took it too. It was along those lines, especially because after we go through the car, which is fantastic, by the way, going through the window and through the 2 seats, the chick who like yells at us and spits on us. I'm like, oh, she's calling me like a pig for like falling into this consumerist trap. Right. And so like I took it the exact same way you did.
Cool. Yeah. I especially like that shot. I think it kind of sticks out because a lot of the other shots aren't particularly remarkable. So, like especially like you mentioned the science stuff. Like I didn't like. I kind of took it as human progress, like moving forward, but like I didn't really. They didn't grab my eye the way the kids grabbed my eye. They didn't grab my eye the way the end shot grabbed my eye. Same with the allusions to fascism. It's good if you want to be heavy-handed, but I think you need a stronger and a richer perspective if you're going to be that heavy-handed. So I gave it an 8.1. I still really, really enjoyed it. I loved it. I think it could be darker. And more radical in terms of its production design, but it's still amazing, and it's still like really, really fun to watch. And like it's a long video, but it flies right by because of the music, and and the music actually is the song itself like really carries me through the backward forward momentum of it all, and I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting to like make music for a music video for like an EDM song that like has no lyrics, and like obviously the artist is going to be feeling something when they make the song, and like translating that into visuals is a crazy feat. That nudity shot is also it's probably my favorite because it's like a little jarring going through the car and like being yelled at. There's so much intensity in her, which is super cool. I don't know why they joined it with going under the plane and like going back to the science stuff.
I have no idea.
It sucks that like the science like themes in here are the weakest, because like the gun sphere is like super cool and striking and like kind of 9-inch nails looking.
That's my favorite shot, actually.
Yeah, I do like the because the mosh pit cut is like super jarring because it's the only one that's not initially looking like it's pulling back, and then like the screen and like the scientists like taking notes. That was my favorite science version, because it's like, oh, okay, they're like studying and commodifying our enjoyment that we've gotten out of whatever that we're doing, and they're trying to find out how to market that back to us and exploit us further. And so I really liked that part of it. And the cut to the crowd is fucking crazy. You're like, oh shit, like where did this come from? But like a lot of the other science stuff falls flat. But I do like the coming to power of the kid, and how that ties into the very end as well. The nudity, like I mentioned, and even like the regular ass dudes, like the office worker guys who are just like pointing right at you. There's like something weirdly intense about it, and it's not something that you would expect to have that symbol of power and commodification and all that. It's just a cool artistic, like artsy fartsy art house video, and I wanted to include one of those, and so that's why I picked this one.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot. How did you interpret the pointing men, the pointing copies of the men?
I think that's the last one, correct? Before the corpse.
I think so.
I think it's okay. I took that as like where we are now in a way, in this like timeline of monstrosity in a way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of calling out the audience. It's like you are this character. You're just another like rat in the maze here. We're all identical, because it's all a bunch of the same dude. We're all identical in this. We all are victims, but also hold the power without knowing it. We're all just rats in the race, essentially. And you're one of us, so have fun. And that's kind of how I took that. It is very up to interpretation. What'd you see in it?
I kind of saw it as like identity crisis, and like how, like, without kind of, they didn't make any really references to social media, so I thought that would filled in the gap to it, or filled in the gap of that, like the fact that like we're all kind of, we all have easy access to each other, and we can see each other literally like arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder, but there's still confusion and there's still identity crisis. But I have no idea.
It would have been cool to have social media stuff, but this was like 2013, so I think it was before the big boom of it.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
And it does not look like a 2013 video. Like this could come out now, and you'd be like, yeah, this is very 2021 of you.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would have guessed like 2018, because But it looks beautiful. Definitely.
I'm curious, now that I've done all mine, have you seen any of them before besides Feel Good, which I imagine you had?
I have heard Oh Baby, but I did not watch the video. Yeah.
Gotcha. I tried to purposely pick at least mostly ones that I didn't think you'd seen before, so I'm glad I succeeded.
Hell yeah, yeah. I was very pleasantly surprised by all three of the ones that you all three of the new ones that you showed me. They were all pretty awesome.
Sick. But we're not done yet. We're only acting like we are.
Yeah, I have been so in love with Caro Bonito from the past few years.
You know who's not? These two dudes. Who review them and laugh and stuff. This one, A Samps says female Weezer, and Aquafuck Face says boomer music.
Oh my god.
Most of the reviews were just real horny for Sarah, and that was about it. Yeah. Which is kind of gross to scroll through for so long.
Yeah, only acting. I've been in love with Caro Bonito as a band, all three of them, since the song Flamingo dropped a while back. My brother showed it to me, and then he showed me their first LP, and then this music video came out, and I was like, "What? What?" Because it's the most radical departure from a band's sound that I've ever seen. I'm sure there have been even more radical turns by artists, but from what I've seen, this is the craziest one, because this is a surrealistic, maybe psychedelic nightmare of a music video that totally upends the kind of joyous and the kind of bubbly and what's the word? Bubblegum pop sound that Carol Bonito has already mastered this early in their career.
There it is. Okay, sorry. Finally came out.
Hell yeah. But this video, with their first album kind of being about, picking yourself up and getting through the day and just hanging in there. You Got This, Champ. This one, only acting as an album is a full-on identity crisis because of social media and because of the screens. And so because of that, there are screens within screens. They're making comments on the artificiality of human behavior because of the performative aspect of the way people are in front of a screen and the way people are behind a screen. It's absolutely masterful. I'm going to get into some of the layers and stuff later. For now, I'm going to give it a 9.6. I think this is one of the best music videos to come out in recent years, and I love it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Going in, like I knew Cara Bonito. I too was a fan, and so this was jarring, to say the least. I hadn't seen this video or heard this song, and yeah, it was a surprise. For the first minute or so, I was like, okay, so it's just like a homemade music video. It's cool. I like it. I fuck with the VHS. I'm into it. It's got a cool casting call vibe to it that feels like an audition to being a person and just having to pretend to be a normal functioning person. And I'm into that. It's cool. And then it, much like the movie Audition, it takes a fucking turn. And I do think there are references to that movie in here. It felt like there were. And it's insane. It's just batshit crazy. It's a fever dream. But I love it, and it hammers in the symbology of the first half that you don't really pick up until you see the finished product. And I like that. They don't show their cards before they play them, and I think it's executed super well because they do that. I give it an 8.8. I'm a fan.
Hell yeah!
Look at us, all 8s and 9s across the board. Oh, I think you had one 7.9 or something. Sneak in there.
Yeah, but I could easily, with one rewatch, that could turn into an 8. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only acting is insane. As we experience a kind of digital, as the digital failure of the song and of the music video kind of shows and falls apart before our very eyes, we hear an analog failure, right? We hear record skipping, we hear color bars, we hear tape distortion, we hear static, and so there's a lot of that floating in there. There's I was really hoping Jared had not seen this video beforehand, and I'm so happy to hear that. The surprise factor of it is really, really amazing. And even when I'm just listening to only acting in the background, which I don't recommend because almost the whole album's like this, but definitely listen to it because it's crazy. But they I always forget the timing of the record skip, and so I'm always jarred even now when I listen. I love that the structure of it kind of starts out like a KKB song, and then the chorus turns into a Weezer song, and then just goes completely bonkers, which I absolutely love. We see a lot of artificial filters. I don't think they actually shot it on tape. It looks like they just added stuff to it to make it look like it was shot on tape, which adds to the feeling of it. seeing the image repeated on smaller screens within the screen, seeing the lens through mirrors, seeing Sarah stare and smile directly into the camera, all of it kind of adds to the unease of only acting.
Yeah. I think the most unsettling shot of it was when she's just sitting in the chair, like freaking out, and the TV shows something different. Just because they set us up with an expectation that, like, oh, this is a live feed of whatever she's doing this whole time. And then when it's not, it like kind of just makes your spine tingle and sets up the rest of the fucking fever dream to come.
It's so good. It's so good. I want to correct myself as well. The album is called Time and Place. The single is called Only Acting. My bad. But yeah, anything else you got out of it?
A nightmare. No, I like that they surprised me with the layers beneath the surface on this one. Not only was it the most surprising music video, it also was a pleasant surprise with it not being what I thought it was when I first started watching it.
Hell yeah, yeah. My last note is just about the other two members, Gus and Jamie. You see Gus kind of fall apart on the drum kit, and you see JB like actually get up and fall into the seats, into the empty seats, and I'm like, oh shit, is he okay? Like, and it really works super well. Like, we're all having this identity crisis, not just Sarah, because of social media and because of where we are in the digital world and how we perceive ourselves through video and through sound. It's a nightmare, like Jared said.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fun. I have too many music videos, and I'm bummed that I didn't get all of them. We'll have to do this again. I think it worked out for us.
Yeah, dude.
Because I had a list of like 12 videos after I narrowed it down.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I am ready to go when you are, if you ever want to do this again.
Yeah. We could do it. We could theoretically do it like once a month.
Yeah, I'm down.
Like every second week or something.
Let's do it. At least for a little bit. We don't have to do that forever because it'll probably get stale. But we mix things up so often, so who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for listening, audience. You can check out all these videos on YouTube. I'm going to link them down below.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay golden.
Just stay, please. Please stay.
Yep. Alrighty. We love you. Goodbye.